Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are here with Mary Polanco. We just love her. So many people are oohing and eyeing in the comments already, and you're just now getting here. So she is here. She's talking to us about stencils and how to step it up. So ask your questions. Remember, when the questions dry up, the Q&A is over, but it will not exceed past 11:30. So without further ado, goodbye.
Yay! Bye, Laurel. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you. As anyone has been hanging out with me for a little bit, you know I just love the live situation. I work from home, so the prospect of communicating with people in real time is just makes my heart flutter. I see so many familiar names popping in and some new names. Hello, hello. Okay, so I like Laurel said, when the questions dry up, the Q&A is over. I will promise not to hold you hostage. So yes, if there's nothing more, but let's start. Let's talk about what's on your mind with maybe my presentation, things happening in the stencil world, whatever you want to talk about. I'm here. It doesn't have to stick with crafting. So whatever you all want to discuss. So I'm just going to go through the chat and see if I'm actually if I'm seeing any questions. Just some people are just listening to the summit or watching the summit. Some are creating along. I love that. I love that the pre-recorded modules that you can like stop and really go along with them. That's always great. Thank you so much, Nicole, and all of your positive comments here. Let's see. Listening. Have my handy notebook. Yep. Okay, come up with questions, Cindy says. Yes, let's see. If not, I'm just going to talk at you and share some things. Hi. Okay, good. Everyone's popping in. Okay, I've caught up on the chat. So let's talk. I guess I'll just kick it off then and we'll talk about the technique that I showed in my presentation. So I was really, really excited about it. It's sort of like a masking / Joseph's coat technique for the tutorial. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, I'm really excited about it. I did multiple examples for the class, but then the one I showed you went a little bit level up with some heat embossing to trap some of the technique back behind that we used for the stencil. So just to bring you up to speed, when you're using a stencil as a mask, that's essentially just you stenciling your image down and then stamping through your stencil. And so this way you can see the image behind it sort of like popping through. So it's really cool. Okay, so Arlene says, where did you learn to get inspired to try the masking technique? Partly probably through Pinterest. I think I was going through there quickly a few months back, but also my daughter, she did a stenciling class recently, and just watching her through the process of experimenting, I was like, ooh, try this. I wasn't supposed to be getting involved. I couldn't help it though. She was at the desk doing all her prep and practice, and I was like, we'll try this technique or that one. So that's where it kind of emerged from. I was like, what are some more ways we can do with our stencils? So yes. Okay. Next question. I see. Where did the sun stencil come from? That one, Cindy, is from scrapbook.com. Oh, if you just typed in sunshine stencil, I think I put it in the supply list though. So you should see it on my supply list. But if you just type in like sunshine stencil or hello sun, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. Okay, question from Norma. When it comes to purchasing ink online, it's hard to get a true sense of the color. Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. Could you recommend a general purpose red oxide ink? Well, my go-to red oxide is the Candied Apple. That's like, I feel like it's a nice, bright, true red. There's many hues of red oxides that I absolutely adore, especially given the season. So like, for example, the plaid, lumberjack plaid is great for fall or winter or holiday. And so, but I do love, if I'm going to make a rainbow or just need a true red, for me, that my favorite is the Candied Apple. And Festive Berries is a close second for that, but it's a little more muted, I would say. Monique says, I'm looking at your ghosty card. How did you get the wispy white background? Oh, I took some white pigment ink, I believe that I have, and I just with a foam tool, just kind of shadowed it in. I believe that's what I did on the ghost card. That was a good one. Yeah, it gives fog feels, which is really nice for like fall, Halloween type of things. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Carla. Okay. Let's see. Will you say a little more about how you created the other samples I showed? Yes. So, Helen, the samples I showed in the beginning of the tutorial, the one that I showed you on the screen and not in real life, that was Adia's project. And so all of the samples that I created and showed you prior to the actual tutorial, those were very simplified in that I did the stenciling with the stencil image, and then I just stamped, keeping the stencil in place, I just stamped through it. So like the little ghost, I just took that ghost and stamped over the stencil. So it obviously was masking off a piece of the ghost. And I just repeated that process throughout all of the samples. It was the same technique. When it came to the tutorial, that's where I stepped it up, adding some embossing and ink blending and things like that. So that was a little bit of a different aspect. Yay. Oh, thanks, Grace. Grace, we're all artistically challenged until we start experimenting. And then we start to feel the vibes and we can get better and better. Is Adia here? Adia is downstairs. She just rolled out of bed. I said, don't waste your Saturday. Adia is my 16-year-old daughter, for those of you that don't know. We have a 12-year-old son as well. They're both downstairs eating breakfast and watching TV. You know how you do on Saturday. Well, my Saturday mornings as a kid started at like 8:30, but they're a little late. Okay, Tari says, question, have you ever stenciled with a paste or stencil butter, then use a stamp while stencil in place to get texture to paste? Ooh, that would be so cool. I haven't done that. That's such a great idea. So essentially put the paste on through the stencil, leave the stencil in place, press the stamp into the paste. I would say, coming to mind, that would be awesome to do with like a fine line stamp, like a floral. I would also probably prefer to use a rubber stamp, just thinking of cleaning the paste off of it might come up a little faster with rubber, and then to do it immediately. But that sounds like a really good idea. Yeah. On that note, I am doing a live class on Saturday. It's our embossing class that we're doing. It's not through the summit, it's through my courses. And we're doing dry embossing, heat embossing, just embossing fun. And something that I'm not doing in class, but was recommended on this note, I want to share it with you, was to do your embossing with like maybe 2 or 3 layers of heat embossing powder. And so then heat it back up so it's like melty, and then stamp into that. So on the lines of the same idea, but it would probably dry a lot faster, right? Because it's embossing powder as opposed to paste. And that would be such a cool effect. I have to try that, but I'm not doing it in class, but that's a great idea too. Yay. Okay, South Park IED. Yay, I hope you like it. I hope it inspires you to kind of try some new things. There's quite a few steps in the tutorial process. It's not, I would say quite a few steps. I would say you're doing heat embossing, but, and it's funny too, because only we would know as crafters of this trade, like what goes into a card when you're making it. But at the end of the card, a recipient who has no knowledge would just be like, huh, that's a cool card. But if I gave it to one of you, you'd be like, oh, she did this and she did that. Yeah, it's funny. But just remember that too, when you think your card has to be perfect, it does not, because the recipients, 99.99999% of people don't make cards. They would just love the card. It's homemade. Yes. I know, Arlene, you'd be too chicken to put any stamps in the embossing. Truth be told, when the crafter friend had recommended that to me, I was like, ooh, doesn't recommend photopolymer, and I wouldn't either. I would say probably keep away from anything heating up your photopolymer stamps, but a rubber stamp might work really well. So that would be good. It does sound scary. All right, so what else is on your mind? What else can I answer? It doesn't have to be about stenciling or this. It could be about my crafting journey. It could be about whatever you want. I'm an open book usually. Or what is your what's a class that you've enjoyed so far that you've gotten to see? Let me know. I'm curious because I'm going to be catching up with them all too. Where to find all the classes? So Smaragden 15, are you talking about the summit classes? So if you can let me know that. It should be when you log in, you should be able to see your schedule for the summit. Renee, wondering what size blue card did you start with? Oh, Renee, I started with an A2 size card, so 4.25 by 5.5. And anytime you see me use colored cardstock, know it comes from a paper pad. That's the only cardstock I have on stash. I have like one bin full of paper pads. Some are designer paper, like the images, and some is just blank colors. But I don't keep like full 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock in color cards, except like holiday red and black, maybe some neutrals. That's it. What do you have coming up? I've been out of the loop. Oh, Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I have my monthly live classes that we're doing every month. If you want to check out the schedule of that, you can head to marypolancodesigns.com, and under classes, not classroom, but classes, you'll see a PDF you can just look at and see what's coming up. So we have my October class is happening next Saturday, a week from today. We're going to be doing embossing fun. And then November's class is going to be free. And it's going to be, and by the way, my classes, every class every month except December is pay what you can. So I don't want cost to be a factor to not craft together. But November's class is free, and we're doing a compilation of favorite backgrounds. So I had my email list members vote what's their favorite backgrounds, and so that's the top 3 that we're going to be doing for class. The votes are still coming in, and then December we have a huge, I can't give away too much because I'm not ready. I mean, we're not, I know, but we're not ready. But December 6th is our huge holiday party where we craft all day and we end with a huge blowout giveaway party, which last year we gave away 50 prizes. And anyway, I don't want to say too much, but the fun thing about the giveaways is when you sign up for the event, you get to pick your top 3 choices of giveaways. So then when you win, you get something you want. It's like I'm playing Santa. Okay, sorry, I got off track. But that's what's coming up. I'm very excited about it. Let's see. Ink smushing was your favorite. That was a fun class. And so funny, someone called me out too on the ink smushing because in one video I did on YouTube, I said years ago, I was like, someone wants me to do an ink smushing class, but I mean, there's not much to it. You just ink smush until I humbled myself and put myself in the Mary's lab back there. There's a lot of ways to ink smush. So do I have a favorite technique? Probably ink smushing. Yeah, I would say it's the most random and fun with the least amount of effort. Ink blending is great. You get awesome results, but there's effort involved that doesn't exist in ink smushing. So that's my favorite. Norma, does your son partake in any type of crafting? Not in my craft room, but he is a builder and he's got that engineer brain. So he's been making, he's building with Lego for years. He also draws, and he did write a book. Well, he didn't know it was going to be a book, but he wrote a comic book called The Amazing Brown Bag, and he brought it home from school one day, and I was just enamored with it. It was so brilliant that I took it and I published it on Amazon. And so it's half his comic book and the other half is open text comic book, like open form, so people can make their own comics. So it's like a journal comic book too, which so proud of that for him. It was so cute. But if it's on Amazon, so if you type up Amazing Brown Bag, you're gonna see AJ's book. So cute. And it's a really funny story. Okay, let me see. I'm getting off track. Let me get back to the questions. You have received a mail today with the schedule, and there you can find the classes. Oh, okay. Oh, Aaron's mixed media card. I need to definitely watch that one soon. I love that. I love mixed media because it's like I'm just starting out in it. So I'm watching all these classes. And I take Juliana's classes. She's got one coming up. Juliana Michaels. Okay, good. Last year's day was so much fun. Oh, I was there at the party event. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And I have I can't announce it yet, but I have a really big surprise about the format of the event. So I'm like, obviously you could tell from my smile, I'm geeking out. It's going to be so fun. Yay. Okay. I like Laurel's session on ink smushing and shaving. Ooh, yeah, that's awesome. Aw, thanks, Susan. Which is made different, but I still work full time. I know. I know, Tammy, the full-time adulting gets in the way of the fun, huh? Where is it? Okay, it's hard to see the true ink color of champagne. Is it brown or gold? It's gold. So Renee, it's the one I used in the class. It is definitely on the side of gold because of the shimmer aspect. So think of, like, if I could say this, like a brownish shimmery color. So it's not a flat brown and it's not a pure gold. It's like a really good mix of those. I hope that helps explain. Yeah, Helen, share some of the ways you use I use my ink smushing. So if I don't really like if it's too much smushed on the background, I usually like to break that background up by either die cutting it horizontally, just slicing it horizontally, using it for die cut backgrounds like a cover plate. If I like the ink smushing background, meaning I want to show it all because there's some white space and it lends well to the eye, I'll usually just frame it and use a sentiment or maybe add some embellishments like foliage. Delicate Leaves from scrapbook.com. That just for picture, that is like my go-to die cut set for adding some of those elements on top of a card. So that's usually my two areas, my two vectors I'll go with ink smushing background. All my backgrounds, to be honest. Yeah. Oh yeah, Norma, I did share that book in class. I shared it on a YouTube video too. He was my sponsor for the day. So I was sending people, check out AJ's book. It was fun. Okay. So they're figuring that out. Yeah. So, oh, good. Another good recommendation, using photo paper was such an exciting new idea for me. Yeah. Photo paper. So last month's class that I did was alcohol inks. And on this download that I gave the students, I shared the differences between all these different papers you can use for alcohol inks. My photo paper was from Canon and the front side did not work. I think logically that probably shouldn't work because the ink's going to dry pretty quickly. On the back, whoo, the results were awesome. And it was a great cheap way to practice techniques without wasting the paper. How often, Susan says, do I go back and use old products hidden in my stash? I try, Susan, to do that. I try to keep my inventory really minimal so that I can do exactly what you're recommending. Because I will do an inventory. Well, I have a system to do an inventory frequently. So every couple months, so that I know, am I not using this? Have I replaced it? Like, so for example, I had a bunch of stamps that were coffee themed and they were old, still worked perfectly. But then I realized I had some new stuff that came with dies. And so I don't need 5 different ways to make, coffee cards. And so I try to keep my supplies minimal as possible for that reason. I have also noticed, and if you've caught my decluttering video on YouTube, it really goes into the mindset of decluttering. I've noticed a huge creative shift for myself because I've decluttered so much. So I absolutely can sit down and create and think outside the box and have like the flooding of artistic creativity come in if I don't have a lot of stuff. That's why I destashed half of my oxide inks, almost half, and almost pretty much half of my Catherine Puller inks. Not because I don't love them. I do love them, but I wasn't using them and I was feeling guilty for not using them and they were taking up space. And now I love what I have and I use it so much more. So probably not what you were asking. But hopefully that helps. That's my thought process behind it. Thanks so much, MR. I'm glad you liked the technique. Yay. Okay, Nicole, how did you look the videos of yesterday? You can use this. Oh, that's not for me. I love the technique you did in your minimal supplies class that included the marker, ink, and tissue. The technique came out looking like trees. Oh, yeah, Norma, thank you for that. I did have a minimal supplies class where we did, and by the way, on my website, you can check out all of those classes at replay. Like they're all available for you to still register and get. And they're all still pay what you can. So So yeah, through that class, we used a lot of home supplies to just kind of get creative and fun. And because I don't know what you have, but I figured a lot of us probably have aluminum foil or, sponges and things like that. So, um, Arlene, no. Well, I mean, who am I to tell you what you need? I don't need. That's why I stress that I don't need 5 ways to make the same thing. But if that brings you joy, go for it. I see it. I need to buy it phase. Cindy, yeah, I've been there. I know that phase. Now I see it and I think of an alternative way to make it. I don't know. Is that cheap? Because that's where my head goes now. Yeah, South Park IED. Absolutely. Didn't buy anything for 10 months. Good job. Yeah. I don't know. I've just found it releases me from feeling guilty, from feeling like I have to use all this stuff all the time. I mean, that takes away from my creative process. Renee asks, do I have a favorite die and stamp list that you post on YouTube? No, but I am working on it, Renee. It's literally on my to-do list in front of me is to put together a favorites list, an updated one. I have an Amazon storefront, but I need to do like a crafting related at elsewhere. Like I shop from scrapbook.com all the time. So, but it's in the works. What's my oldest product that I still use regularly? Such a good question. My oldest product, I would say, one, I've had the Delicate Leaves die set for years. I think it's been a couple years now. I use that all the time. And then I would say also I have a stamp from Stampin' Up that I have had for 15 years. And it's a butterfly. And then I also have a map. And I love to use those for backgrounds. So probably those. Great question. Yay. Okay, good, Susan. Thank you so much. Such great compliments. Yes, so it's tricky being in the space of sharing my content. And the reason is I'm working on finding the good balance between, please know, whenever you watch anything from me, my go-to number one piece of advice is going to say, can you make something similar with what you already have? Period. Period. Can you do it? Or even change up the theme. Just look at the technique. That's always my first piece of advice. But there are some things that people are looking to add to their inventory. Let's say you don't have a good floral stamp or you don't have whatever. I will then say, I'll put my exact supplies for you to check out, right? Well, the tricky thing about that is if I'm using something that someone really loves and it's no longer available, I know that disappointment. So I try not to show that too much unless I'm specifically in the video talking about when I go to the thrift store, obviously you're not going to find the same stuff as me, like those kinds of videos. I try to be clear about that. Yeah. I've been binge watching my videos. Oh, Cindy, on destashing. Oh, good. I have a few up there. And then also my craft room tour talks a lot about that process as well. It's not just like a tour of look at what I have. I've actually show you how I've really pared down. It's good to watch the first decluttering video because in that video, you can see behind me, I'm going through the process of redoing my entire space. And so it's kind of a neat, in real time, that's what I was doing. And then seeing the final product come together. Patty, do I ever buy something I've already forgot about? Patty, what kind of question is that? Yes, I have. I don't do it anymore because my inventory is so small that I know what I have, but I used to. And in fact, one time I bought the same thing 3 times. 3 times. This is when you know you need to pare down and look at what you got. What age range would your son's book be good for? I'm looking at it. Oh, I would say, Carlos, really from the age of putting a pencil or something in a kid's hand. So as little as you want, to probably, I'd say 10 maybe. That's when he wrote it. So that's a good age range, I would say. Where is the map stamp from? I've been looking for one. Susan, that was from Stampin' Up. See what I mean? It's from Stampin' Up, and I got it 15 years ago. So it was a background stamp too. So that's the one you're talking about, right? The one I mentioned. I know. I had a good one too from another company, but this one's a background red rubber. Okay, we're closing out. We're close to the time. Tammy, I'm going to answer your question. Thank you so much for all these lovely ideas. I store my stencils in a binder, a 6x8 binder. It's the only way I'll ever do it. It's the best way for me. Try again. What type of craft did you try and say never try again? Diamond painting, Arlene. I don't have. It's not my thing. For sure. Okay. Okay, so let me close up by answering the question, what's my crafting story? So I started crafting in 2000. Well, I've been crafting my whole life, like painting little things here and there, but card making was 2007. I was stationed in England. I was in the Air Force. I retired in 2022 after 23 years, but at the time I was in England and I was bored and lonely, and I was by myself, no kids, no husband. And so a friend of mine that I worked with asked me if I wanted to go to a crafting party. And I said, no, are you insane? That sounds terribly boring. And she said, come on with us. It'll be fun. I went and they showed me how to heat emboss and I was hooked. I was like, why have I not been doing this my entire life? That started my journey. And then I moved. 2016, I started my YouTube channel because I noticed that I was having to start over with finding crafty friends everywhere I went. And this way I can have a mobile crafty community. So it worked out really great. 2017, I started doing that. And then in 2022 or three, no, what year is it? 23, I started my live classes. So we're evolving in different iterations, but that's where I started and why I do it. And I love it. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So very good. Thank you so much for being here. I don't want to go over the time. I always appreciate all of you for just chatting with me in here, but also if you're able to join any of my live classes or hang out with me on YouTube, I always answer the comments over there too. So I just love engaging. But check out anything you might want to do in the future with us. And if you sign up for, I think there's a place to add to my email list too on my website, so that you can get notified of everything we have coming, because December's event is going to be amazing. Okay. Love you all. Have a great day and a great weekend. And we will see you somewhere out in the online universe. Bye, everybody.